This Stalker bolt rifle sniper build is one of the most powerful and enjoyable builds in the game. The synergy between the DPS and the ammo sustain it offers is incredible, and with the correct perk setup, you can offer yourself and your team the opportunity to keep your ability charge maxed out, allowing everyone to spam their special ability very rapidly indeed. More on that later. And as if that wasn't already enough, folks, you can utilize the Stalker bolt rifle's perks to facilitate a situation in which you have an incredibly vast ammo pool, ensuring you can take full advantage of the large mag capacity and ability to spam high damaging headshots very rapidly. Couple this with a punchy bolt pistol setup to get the most out of gun strikes and a flexible knife setup of your preference, and you can create a sniper build that destroys elite targets with very little effort at all. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Is this setup better than the infamous Las Fusil? I wouldn't say so in terms of raw damage, no, but I do actually find myself enjoying this alternative style of play, as it is much more mobile and fast firing, and you could call it a little more forgiving, given that it doesn't require you to charge shots up like the Las does. Personally, I'm really enjoying both, and I've been rocking these on our community streams over on Twitch and YouTube, where we've been helping community members level up their classes, their weapons, and grind relics so they can upgrade their weapons. There's a chance I'm probably streaming now, so check out the links down in the description and come check me out. Now, in terms of the Stalker bolt rifle, this thing really does trivialize elite enemies and really rewards the marksman style of play. The more headshots you land, the more benefits you and your squads will gain from both the raw damage output, obviously, but also from an ability charge perspective. And this makes the build not only excellent in terms of a damage dealer, but also in terms of support as well. More on how to achieve this in a moment, folks. The playstyle for this build is very simple. Keep your distance from enemies to ensure that our Stalker bolt rifle perk long shot is active. This increases our damage by 10% when we are over 20 meters away. Prioritize headshots against elite enemies and get efficient at spamming these in rapid succession to inflict incapacitations quickly, and follow these up with headshot kills. These headshot kills ensure that two of our most important perks proc for us and our team. Squad renewal is a team-wide buff that is absolutely goated, folks. Every single headshot kill replenishes 10% of a player's ability charge, and this becomes incredibly powerful when you lean into this as a team, especially if you're sharing the round with a tactical marine and their Auspex scan. Renewal is the second perk in question here and rewards us personally with 5% ability charge per headshot kill. So you can probably see where I'm going with this, folks. It's very easy to find yourself with near enough permanent uptime on Cloak, as you can see from these clips, and this can be incredibly easy to achieve and, most importantly, utterly devastating to our enemies. This synergizes superbly with the perks Vantage Point for 20% increased primary weapon damage when we stand still for more than 2 seconds, and Targeted Shot, which gives us 75% increased damage to the first 2 shots we fire that break stealth. Because we are also opting for lingering concealment, and given the rapid firing nature of the Stalker bolt rifle, we can also take full advantage of these 2 seconds to seek out headshot kills on both trash and elite mobs respectively, to fully replenish our ability charge, sometimes before we even come out of concealment, allowing us to recloak and repeat this rotation accordingly. Gun strikes are also our friend in this setup, as Relentless Pursuit does trigger that 25% increased range damage, but you will find yourself doing this much less often than other classes such as the tactical, just simply due to the fact we're in cloak a lot of the time and de-aggroed. If you do get a gun strike off, don't be afraid to hip fire the Stalker bolt rifle and try get those headshots in from close range to take advantage of the damage buff. If you're looking to acquire Space Marine 2, our channel sponsor Instant Gaming can offer you this and other exciting titles such as Black Myth Wukong at insanely discounted prices. Instant Gaming is 100% legit because they acquire all their keys directly from the source, providing you authenticity without compromise, and this is reflected in their 4.7 Trustpilot score from over 720,000 reviews. Instant Gaming is not just another key marketplace, folks. Everything comes from authorized sellers. So, if you want to save some money on video games and support me and the Phase Shift community as we take on the Tyrannid scum, click on the link in the description or the pinned comment below and enjoy those juicy instant gaming discounts. Now, back to the video. In terms of the perks, onto our first column, you can either go with Block Break for that 25% damage against blocking or shielded enemies, or you can go for Medicae Adept to give you that 30% faster revive. It's a no-brainer for me in this column, folks. Vantage Point, remaining stationary for 2 seconds, increases your primary weapon damage by 20%. Obviously, standing still increases our damage, no-brainer. Third column, Iron Grip, recoil from bolt rifles and Stalker bolt rifles reduces by 30%. Then onto the team perks, Squad Renewal. This is an absolutely must-take talent in my opinion. Squad Renewal gives you 10% ability charge for any headshot kills for any squad member. This compounds massively. It means that you can continue to use your ability charges across the board. Really effective with a tactical. Then, of course, Renewal for our own personal headshot kills, restoring camouflage charge by 5%. This synergy between the previous perk and this one is what gives us that permanent cloak up time, so it's essential. And in this column, Targeted Shot, the first ranged attack that breaks camo deals 75% more damage. Second to last column, Lingering Concealment. After performing an attack that breaks camo, you can remain hidden for 2 seconds. This just gives us that little window to get more shots off, and given the speed in which the Stalker bolt rifle fires, you can often find yourself in a position where you're managing to headshot trash mobs to get your ability charge back up so you could instantly cloak again to benefit from not only the concealment but also getting those shots off with that 75% concealment break included. And finally, our signature move, I go for Evasion. After a perfectly timed dodge, Camo Cloak automatically activates without spending a charge for 5 seconds. This is great because it means gun strikes, if you get a parry off in that time, are increased in terms of their damage, or if you just want to spam shots with the Stalker rifle again. On to our choice of primary weapon, and I've gone with Gathalamor's Crusade, and that is purely because whilst it's got 1 less firepower than its other counterparts here, it's got a larger mag capacity and a larger ammo reserve, giving us that spammability absolutely there in the forefront. And as you'll see in a moment once I go over the perks, this is very important, and I find that this is the sweet spot for this build. And in terms of the perks, we're going straight across the bottom to start with Long Shot. Enemies at a distance of more than 20 meters take 10% more damage. Straight into Survival Instinct. When your health is below 30%, you deal 25% more damage. Then on to Adamantine Grip, giving us 25% recoil reduction. Very helpful, folks. Up onto the top row, Fast Regen. Killing an enemy restores armor by 0.5 seconds earlier. It's not great, but it's required because we need to get into this section here, which is where Headshot for the 10% increased headshot damages, and Headhunter, another 10% increased headshot damage. Down to Increased Capacity, which gives us the 20% increased ammo reserve, and this is the most important perk, I would say, for the build entirely. Reloaded Restoration. After reloading, your ammo reserve is restored by 50% of the number of enemies hit. So if you land 16 hits in the clip, you will get 8 bullets back. That's as simple as I can put it, folks. This is very, very strong. And I will add that there is a bug at the moment with this, which I wouldn't recommend using, but if you want to, it is there. If you have this equipped and you switch to your pistol and switch back, you will notice your Stalker bolt rifle just miraculously recovers bullets. I'm pretty sure that Saber are aware of this and it will be getting patched out, but it's there if you want to try it, folks. It's pretty ridiculous. I haven't talked about it mainly because I don't want to use it myself. In terms of our bolt pistol choice, we want to go with Aphelion Liberation Beta because it's got the highest firepower output. We won't be using it for anything other than administering gun strikes, so we just want the highest damage output possible there, folks. And in terms of the perks, we're going along the bottom row first. Great Might gives us 10% against Terminus enemies. Then we're going into Retaliation. A perfectly timed dodge will allow you to deal 25% more damage. Great for a gun strike. Followed up by Iron Grip. After a gun strike, recoil is reduced by 35%. Then Divine Might, 10% increased damage. Then Extended Mag for an extended mag. Headhunter for 10% headshot damage. Then Elite Hunter. After killing a Majoris level enemy or higher with a melee weapon, headshots deal 50% more damage for 5 seconds. And then finally Headhunter for another 10% more headshot damage. In terms of the combat knife, I've gone with Aphelion Liberation on the top right, and that is purely because of the fencing defense mode on it. I like to have large parry windows. I just find it very forgiving. I have not yet ventured into block and balanced. I need to start doing that, but at the moment, I'm just playing builds that shoot more than use melee, so having that parry is really important. In terms of the perks, I'm not going to talk through all these because they're very self-explanatory. You're going straight across the bottom, folks, all the way until you get to the end here, and you get the 15% increased melee damage against extremist level enemies, and then up onto the top row for 20% increased damage, up onto the top row for 20% increased damage against terminus enemies. I very rarely melee at the moment, folks. That's just my playstyle. You might have some opinions on how to spec this. Let me know in the comments below. If you're looking for an incredibly powerful plasma incinerator build for the tactical marine, check out this next video. It's got you covered. Take care of yourselves, keep having fun, come check out a stream on YouTube or Twitch, and I'll see you in the next one.